Like every other blueberry, you were born into bondage, a virtual war that you cannot smell or taste or touch, a prison for your mind. So, now you have an incredibly important choice to make, and after this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, this video ends. You click away and jump ignorantly headfirst into hell let loose, unprepared and unsuspecting, a mere pawn in the game's cruel design. You take the red pill, you continue to watch this video, and I show you how deep the hell let loose rabbit hole goes. This is things I wish I knew before playing hell let loose. Number 1, the capture rate in hell let loose is always constant, so having more bodies on the point does not increase the rate of capture. Once you start capturing the point, there's nothing you can do to increase that capture rate. So if the enemy starts capturing your defensive point before you start capturing theirs, you will lose the capture race every time, unless you're able to eliminate enough enemies from your defensive point to stop it from being captured. So don't sit there in the enemy strong point thinking you can close the gap and capture it before the enemy captures yours. It's just not possible. Number 2, in warfare mode, players don't actually need to be inside of the black circle in order to capture the sector. Being anywhere within the 4 grid squares surrounding the strong point circle will contribute to capturing the sector. However, being inside the strong point circle will contribute 3 times the capture weight. Players inside the 4 squares that surround the black circle will have a cap weight of 1, while players inside the black circle itself will have a capture weight of 3. Number 3, in offensive mode, once the defending team loses a sector to the attacking team, they are not able to recapture it. The defending team should always redeploy and try to defend the next sector at all costs. The only way to win the game as the defenders is to successfully defend one of your sectors for 30 minutes. Number 4, unlike in warfare mode, in offensive mode you do have to be inside the strong point circle in order to start capturing a sector. If you're pushed outside the circle, the sector remains in control of the defending team. So when you're playing offensive mode, get your ass inside that circle. Number 5, in offensive mode, if the attacking team is actively capturing the point when the 30-minute timer expires and they still have manpower resources, the game actually goes into an overtime mode until the attacking team either runs out of manpower resources, captures the point, or is pushed out of the strong point, whichever comes first. Number 6, players who are down and waiting for a medic do not count towards capturing the sector. So don't waste your time bleeding out with no medic nearby because you think you're contributing towards capturing the sector. Just redeploy and get back into the sector as soon as possible. Number 7, grenades do 0 damage to half-tracks and tanks. Even if a tank is badly damaged, your grenades will have 0 effect on the tank whatsoever, so don't bother trying to frag a tank. Hey, if you're finding this video helpful so far, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up and consider subscribing too if you'd like to be notified whenever I post new content just like this. Now let's jump back into the Matrix. Number 8, when firing rockets at tanks, it's best to hit them in the rear where their armor is the weakest. I can't tell you how many newcomers fire rockets right at the frontal armor of a Tiger tank and get confused as to why they're not doing any damage. That Tiger can take frontal shots all day long, but a few good hits to the rear and she's toast, so always aim for the rear if possible. Number 9, there was a myth going around that if you lay down prone when a recon plane flies overhead that you won't show up as a red dot on the enemy's map. Even if this was true, which I don't think it ever was, it's no longer the case now, so don't bother. Number 10. You may have heard that a white parachute is friendly and a red parachute is enemy. However, that's not always the case. Friendly airheads have a red parachute just like enemy airheads do. So if you see a red parachute with what looks like an airhead attached to it, check your map and see if there's a mark on your map where it's dropping, which would indicate that it's a friendly airhead. If there is no mark, it's the enemy team's airhead, and you should report it to your team's leadership and try to destroy that shit as soon as possible. Now these are just some high-level tips for newcomers, and while they're certainly useful, if you really want to master Hell Let Loose, check out these more in-depth tutorial videos I've created. From explaining how the game modes work, to how to spot the enemy, to the best strategies for garrison placement, you're sure to find tons of helpful nuggets that will pull you out of the Matrix and turn you into a seasoned veteran in no time. I will see you in the next one.